Oh no, I'll wait. I'll wait till we start talking.
All right, what's up?
No, what I was gonna say was that as comics who spent time in New York, I know you're not from New York, I'm from New York, but we met in New York. It's like also the way in which we talk to each other is way different. Like
That's true.
We roast, we go in, we make fun of. You can't do that with everybody. So like
yeah.
So like you like, is there anything you don't want? It don't matter what you ask me. Either I'll answer it or I'll figure out a funny way to deflect.
Exactly.
Or roast you.
Exactly.
Like I roasted you at your show and people were like, damn, why was she?
Yeah, I know. And I'm in the back like, oh man, I knew you were going to say something. I feel like New York comics, especially like New Yorkers that do comedy in New York, they always, I wonder if y'all ever like just have a go-to thing to say off the rip. I feel like it's always like,
oh, you mean like the first thing?
Yeah. It's always like it could be anything. It could literally be anything.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a level of confidence there, but also it's always like finding the joke so fast in what just happened that
I think you have to, right? And so whenever you are in an environment where everybody acknowledges something is off.
Yeah.
And it wasn't you.
Hey, no, we ain't gotta get into all the specifics. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, whenever the vibe feels a little off, it's to me, in my experience, it's best to acknowledge that the vibe is off.
Sure.
And then be like, let's move past it versus trying to skirt around it, Like, but I also, what I don't do is I don't directly attack a person's material.
Okay.
Like, I'll never make fun of a joke that bombed. I'll never make fun of, like, a person. Like, I'll never talk about a person. I'll talk about the room. I'll talk about the audience. I'll talk about the venue. I'll talk about what's on the wall. I'll talk about, the loud-ass people talking in the back. But I'll never throw a comedian under the bus maliciously.
Now, I'll tag up your joke.
Yeah.
I'll tag up your joke.
That's cool, but
then afterwards I'll be like, all that you can have.
Yeah,
I can't get there without you. You got it.
Yeah. But the worst is when people, I think when people out here, I've noticed that people be trying to tag jokes and I'm like, you don't have the authority to tag anything.
Is Brooklyn.
Welcome back to the Inconsistent Podcast with Rob Haze. I'm here with my special guest, Chloé Hilliard. In the building.
Yeah.
From Brooklyn.
That's right. Oh, I can't say what I would normally say because now I live in Los Angeles.
Oh, what would you normally say?
BK all day, but you can't say that here because it means blood killer all day.
I did not know that.
Someone told me. He was like, don't ever say that out loud.
Really?
Because when you are from New York and when you're from Brooklyn, you're very boastful and proud of where you're from.
Yeah.
And, there's like an old joke. They even said it like on... what was it called? Like the Boondocks was like still a script, like a cartoon. I remember they were like, you can tell people from Brooklyn because they yell at everywhere they are.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. And you can't be yelling. Because in New York, you be like, BK all that. You can't.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Also, it's like, I feel like LA appropriated some New York stuff just to like kind of put New York people in their place. Like one gang was like, we're taking the Yankee hat. And it's like, you guys know exactly what you're doing. I'm not going to say anything to you guys, but you know exactly what's going on.
Listen, you know what it is that like when that person told me about, not saying, BK, I was like, thank you for letting me know because moving here, and I know you experienced this moving here from, Atlanta and then New York and then here, it's like you experienced 3 different type of black people, like 3 different regions, 3 different cultures and words and slang and all of that stuff. And so when I came here, I learned a lot about like the, black LA and the history and like, gangs and all that stuff. And, in New York, we used to make fun of gangs. Like, we were like, look at these 20 people like fighting over whatever.
Right.
But like, it was like the way the crack epidemic ravaged like New York and, you know, Harlem, Brooklyn, all that stuff. Like during that same time, that was the crack epidemic and the gang epidemic here in LA. And so we didn't experience that. We got the gangs late. So by the time the Bloods and the Crips came to New York, everybody was like, this is goofy. Why are y'all doing this shit now? But out here, it was like, it really impacted people's livelihoods and like their upbringings, especially like black men. I talked to like black men from here and they were like, it was not fun. It was not like rolling down the street with your homies. It was like, you can't go on certain streets, you know? So when you think about all that trauma that impacts you, you're just like, yeah, we as black people, we got a lot of shit going on depending on the region and all that shit. It's a lot of shit that we carry with us. And it's interesting to hear other people's experiences because, you know, people love to think we're a monolith, and we are not.
We are not. And then also, like you said, 3 different types of black people, but also 3 different cities that attract different black people migrate there. So in the South, you'll get people from Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, the Carolinas, Florida, New Orleans, and their kind of culture and some of the things that they do and they're accustomed to. New York, you'll get people from the islands. You'll get people from the Northeast region. Out here, you'll get people, you know, who are from the West Coast, Portland, Seattle, you know, Arizona,
and Texas,
you know,
a lot of Texas.
Yeah. So it's just like, and all those people are different. No, for sure. Also, there's like roots to like the gang stuff all the way to the Panthers and the displacement of the Panthers. And, you know, it's
I mean,
like,
listen, that's the craziest part. Like when you actually know the history of like gangs, black gangs in America, they were actually doing good, and then something happened.
Something happened. You know, capitalism, money. You know,
I know.
All kind of stuff.
You know what's so crazy? I just read an article last night that crack is back in New York.
Really?
There's a new like bubbling crack epidemic happening in New York, going for like $5 a pop. Crack, cocaine, fentanyl is back on the streets, and I'm like, see, now I have a lot of questions because
where are you doing this?
Yes.
Who are you with in New York?
What have you not learned? What
have you
not seen?
learned? But also like, somebody sees you doing it. There's nowhere to just do something by yourself in New York.
No, there isn't. But I remember one time I want to say maybe like 17, 18. All I know, it was the Mummy 2 or 3. Whichever one was the bad one when they were like flying in a hot air balloon. Okay. I think that might have been like Mummy 3.
Okay.
But that was in the theaters, and me and my friends went to go see it in the theaters. And back in the day, like, we would just go to the movies because there was nothing shit else going on. You can go see a $5 movie. So we went to the movies. We brought our own like snacks and heroes and whatever, and it was not crowded at all. And it was a movie theater that is now the IFC theater on the corner of 6th Avenue and West 4th Street in the Village. So now that's a fancy like art house theater. Back in the day, it was like $2 Tuesdays, come in here and watch some shit. Yeah, it was like crummy. And so we were in there and we just saw like a billow of smoke coming up in like the front like couple rows. And we were like, where the fuck is the smoke? This is way before like 4DX. This ain't like a part
we
of the
don't
movie.
even got 3D.
Right? And so we just like, what is this billow of smoke going on? And then we kept seeing it and we smelled it, and it smelled like this like sweet, like it's like a milky sweet like scent. And then somebody was like, yo, they smoking crack. And
oh my God.
Like the fear in everybody in that theater being like, yo, I'm legit inhaling crack smoke right now. Yeah. And so like
secondhand crack smoke.
So like, you know, it was a bunch of like junkies in the front, like because it was $2 to get in or whatever. So they was like, yo, we about to smoke in the theater. And they was like in the front, which is crazy because it's like, if you're going to smoke in a theater, you should be doing it in the back, like the back row, not the front row where the smoke is going to go up in front of
the smoke in front of the mummy.
Yeah.
There's no smoke in this part.
And this guy, you know, mad people got up and left, and they was like, yo, they fucking smoking crack in the theater. And this man was like, my girl home from leave, and she had on her like military uniform. He was like, she can't go back to the army with fucking crack in her lung. And we were like, yo, get us out of here.
Yeah. That's wild. Man.
But they bringing it back now. But I also want to be like, why? Like, but also I noticed like one crackhead.
How did they get to the press? How did they get to the press before I see somebody in their story like, hey man, we had to kick them out the party. They out here
doing
wilding.
Yeah. No, the NYPD report, which also is like, I'm looking at, but I think a part of it is, and that's why the story of like crack coming back in New York is like kind of like, I'm looking at it with like a magnifying glass because one, if the NYPD is pushing the story that crack is back, then they get to push, we need to fight drugs. And then they get to push, we need more money, we need more budget, we need to stop.
We need the armor.
Yeah.
We need the guns.
The robot
we
dog.
need to be able to kick in the doors,
Ain't nobody ever needed a robot dog to take down crack. Like, but that's what they may use it to justify spending all of this money frivolously. And then also it's like, and also in the article, they were like new cocaine or crack coming from, and they name like a South American country. It's like, well, if you know what country it's coming from, shut that shit down over there. Why are you letting it get to the neighborhoods in the black community before you be like, yeah, we traced it back, but we don't know where it's coming from. You clearly know where it's coming from, but then it also goes back to like the whole Iran-Contra thing when it's like, are y'all funding a coup and now we got to deal with crack and our black? So it's like, what is about to happen if crack is coming back?
It's black people. Did the article say it's black people doing it? Because I've seen people doing crack on girls.
Yeah, well, listen, I feel like they didn't specify the race of the crack person.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to assume that the new 2023 crackhead is black.
If they normalize, if they open up an Apple Store style dispensary and they selling crack rock in there, shut it all down.
Chloe, I feel like I first learned of you watching Last Comic Standing. I was hating.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just did NBC stand up. And so I'm like, the NBC knows me. Who are these 100 people?
I know, right?
But then I see you are so funny. And then some of the people I met visiting New York were like all your homies. Derek Gaines and Monroe Martin and
Reggie Conquest, Dave
Reggie
Temple,
Conquest,
Amina
Dave
Amani.
Temple, Chris Cotton, RP.
Yep.
And so just knowing that, it was like, oh, I know, And then when we did the Mid-Atlantic Festival for NACA, I was like, I'm trying to make Chloe laugh. Like everybody else, they'll come along, but I want to make Chloe laugh because I've been a fan for a long time. So it's
Appreciate that.
dope to see all the stuff you're doing and everything. You're a writer on
this upcoming season, this week is the premiere of season 4 of a Black Lady Sketch Show where I serve as co-head writer, co-executive producer.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
Big titles.
Yeah, Hollywood loves titles. They love titles, yeah.
Yeah. How is that? How is that coming into something like you weren't there in the beginning and then coming through and making it your own?
Well, I joined in season 3 as a writer-producer, and then season 4 got promoted to co-head writer, co-EP. And I would say, honestly, that this has been a life-changing experience in the sense of, like, I get to work in a writer's room that's all Black women, created by Robin Thede. And, I've been given the opportunity to like move up the ladder and learn a bunch of things. I'm on set, I'm learning and doing and being a part of all these moving parts. And, for me, it feels like just a combination of all of my life until this point. I used to be a journalist.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a journalist, and then I was a comedian, and then, I would do consulting work. I know a lot about the digital space because I taught myself that back in the day, and taught myself video editing back in the day. So like now when I see like all the things that I've kind of like taught myself or learned from osmosis, see it like now coming into play. It's like, oh, okay, I understand life paths now. Like, when you get to a certain age, like I'm 42 and I always tell my age, and I hate when people are like, I don't know why you tell your age. I love telling my age. That's illegal
out here.
Oh, I
They'll
love
lock
it.
you up telling your age.
Oh, I love
you wildin'. Yeah.
I love it because I need you to have a point of reference. I need you to understand contextually who I am, why I am, and why I get to say the shit that I get to say. Because if I'm on stage as a comic and I'm talking about stuff and you don't realize my age, you're like, what? So you ever I know you've seen, I'm not gonna name no names, but I know you've seen like younger comics who maybe started like in their teens or 20s.
Yeah.
And they get on stage and they talking and you be like, what the fuck are you talking? Like, you have no authority to talk about the shit that you're talking about.
Or you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And you don't even know that you sound crazy.
Because you read the newspaper and was like, I'm going to try and do this Wall Street Journal joke. And it's like, nah, bro, that's not your life. So I always talk about my age because I'm proud of my age. I'm proud of being 42, single, no kids, chilling. Like, and I also know that if I wasn't 42, single with no kids, I probably would not have the life that I have right now. And that's because real. I chose to make decisions in my life that gave me the freedom to move across country during the pandemic and start a third career.
Yeah. I remember calling you a millennial one time and you was like, Rob, I'm not a millennial. And I was like, what? I thought you was with us. She was like, nah, you make the cutoff.
I'm at the comment. I'm like close. Like, I guess they call it X-lineal. Is that the Gen X?
Okay.
Right? Gen X, X-lineal, maybe. I don't know. I'm definitely on the cusp, but I tend to say I'm Gen.
Okay.
Was it Gen X, Gen Z, Gen X?
Gen X.
Gen X.
Z is Tide Pods.
Yeah, I don't even. Oh, damn, that's crazy. That is crazy. A whole generation being something about. But you know what? We kind of be like, what was happening in your household that y'all did not know not to eat Tide Pods?
Come on.
Wow. They had to pull that
shit
off
and then do
the
it on camera. Not only were they doing it, they did it on camera. Yes, we put batteries in the fridge, but we didn't use our disposable camera and take a picture of us putting batteries in the fridge. We barely even talked about it.
No, it was just like, oh, that's just what you do. You would go to a friend's house and you wouldn't even know they did it until you just had to get ice for some shit or icy. They'd be like, and then you be like, oh, that was it. And you be like, oh, okay, I get it.
You were a journalist?
Yeah, I was a journalist for over a decade.
What like what kind of journalism? Like what? I'm
trying to think because I did a couple different things. So when I graduated college, I worked for a women's magazine at Hearst Magazines.
Okay.
That did that for 2 years and that folded because nobody was buying a magazine. And then when I was in college, I interned at The Source, and so I ended up going back to The Source. Yeah.
You ever gave something mics?
No, I never weighed in because I knew music criticism was not my strong suit. I was like culture, politics, like social stuff, like hip hop related, social stuff.
Them the articles. Yeah, there ain't even no pictures in there. It's just like in a gray square or something.
I left the music to the professionals because like it would get real heated and stuff, and also like. I love hip hop culture. I love hip hop music, but I was never like a hardcore like rap girl. You know, like I wasn't about to sit here and like spit bars and go back with verses. Like I would listen to something if it was like percolating big enough to have a conversation or if I liked certain things, but I would never like beat my chest and go to war over like somebody's album. I was just like, it was cool, you know. But here, but when I was at The Source, I did cover a lot of like social political things, and it was important at the time because social media wasn't even in existence, and so people still look to periodicals, magazines that came out with a 3-month lead to find out what the fuck was going on in the world or in hip hop culture. So I was an editor at The Source. I was a managing editor at Vibe magazine. I was a staff writer at the Village Voice.
Dang.
I was at the Village Voice and did a lot of like groundbreaking reporting at The Voice where I still covered like Black culture, and so I did some really good articles that I'm really proud of over there. And then I went to a startup because I started doing comedy. I started doing stand up, and I was like, well, my job. Oh no, I was at Vibe. So when I left Vibe for stand up on the low. So.
Like what era Vibe? Like who was on the cover?
See, that's the thing. So that's the crazy thing about my career, right? I always managed to get to like the big brand as it was descending, right? And so,
so you was at The Source when they had beef with Eminem?
Oh yeah, yeah. So when I was intern at The Source, that beef was like percolating, but it was kind of like, what's the big deal? And then when I got back to The Source, so put it like this: when I interned at The Source, in college, it was one of the number one selling magazines on newsstands, right? And so, people weren't getting like mail-in subscriptions, sure, but like people would still go to the newsstand and buy like their magazines for the month.
Yeah.
And so the magazine at the time would be like 360 pages. It was like huge. Like it was called like the Hip Hop Bible, like for a reason. And then when I got back there a couple years later, the shit was like 120 pages.
Yeah.
And, the industry had changed. Things were starting to go online.
Pictures getting bigger.
Huge, massive
pictures.
Yeah,
articles getting smaller.
Yeah, beef's getting bigger. So now, now the music industry ain't really fucking with the source like that because of all the beefs that they had, which are well documented. So I'm not saying that's something that's not been, talked about.
Sure.
And so then that was hard because, to go from something where it's like a robust staff to being like a core of maybe like 12, 15 people trying to like make a magazine. And so it was plenty of nights where I was like sleeping at my desk, staying overnight, trying to get the magazine closed on time to the printer, making sure everything was done with like a shoestring budget. And then when I got to Vibe, it had just left, like it had just been sold from like the from like the
Quincy Jones.
It was like way past Quincy Jones.
Okay.
Our offices was on 125th Street.
Okay.
Like right around the corner from the methadone clinic. Like it was not. It was Vibe and Title, but not in the luxury. So it was another like sludge fest of like trying to get this brand out. And by that point, we were moving to like social media and digital. And so that's when I taught myself a lot about Twitter. Like I was early on Twitter. I was early on SEO and all that shit. And that's when it was all about aggregation, which was just stealing other people's content because we didn't have the money to pay for reporters or reporting or researchers or fact checking. So
what a time.
It was like,
what a time.
I went from
Your faves was out here screenshotting, no credit.
Copy pasting. And it just killed me because by that point, by the time I got to Vibe, I had already been at the Village Voice when I was doing like investigative months long reporting and like interviewing sources and backup and fact checking and having to prove that who I talked to was who I, like all of these like checks and balances. And then by the time I got to Vibe, they was like, yeah, we need you to aggregate 30 stories a day for the digitals. But like when I tell you early online space was crazy.
So like when you aggregate a story, what do? You just summarize what someone else's work. Yeah. And then be like, according to.
Yep. And you just put a little link back to their thing. And then a lot of these big companies, I mean, that's also a major part of the reason why they started doing paywalls, because it's like, you going to pay to steal this content. You ain't going to just be over here perusing. And then you would just have to like summarize their shit and then post it up. And then hopefully you get some clicks and some likes. But like that, or those early social media days were crazy.
The paywall might be why like so much stuff is just people just make a fake headline and then people just run with it because now people are like, we're just going to report on the headline.
Yeah. Well, around that time when we were like stealing content, people, that's really what it was.
Aggregating.
Stealing content.
For the lawyers out there, they wasn't stealing. They was just aggregating.
Oh no, the lawyers knew.
It's all agricultural.
Oh no, the lawyers knew because they would send send notices being like, take our content down.
Oh, okay.
All right, and also pictures too. Like pictures were really big because if you were stealing other people's pictures and and then there was like this big thing that happened because everybody was just stealing people's stuff, and then some lawyer got the wherewithal to like notify all these photographers and be like, everybody's stealing your shit. We might as well just like sue them, and so they sued everybody, and then you couldn't like use images. Yeah. It was crazy.
That's when the listicles was popping.
Yeah, so that's what I was about to say. The listicles was popping.
Put it in a list.
Yup, put it in a list. And also, and the crazy thing is, and then it had to be click-throughs because back then you were monetized by actual clicks. So if you had a listicle, it would be 25 clicks.
Okay.
And so that way you can reload all the advertisements and you'd be like,
put a little ad in there.
Yeah, like, we got all these impressions. And so now it's crazy because nobody goes on the web. Like nobody's going to websites for content. They're going to social media for content.
Yeah.
And so all of those things that people did back in the day, I feel like contribute to, the aggregation of everything. Everybody's stealing everybody's content. The fact that we have all of these social media influencers who can just mouth the words to our jokes and make money off of it. So it was a slippery slope, but we definitely seeing, the years of what happens after.
Are you worried about the banning of TikTok? Do you think that's a bad thing? That's a good thing?
So the thing with TikTok, right, is that I hate the fact that people are pushing back on what and I hate the fact that I have to even agree with the GOP at all, but I hate the fact that people are pushing back as if the GOP just doesn't want people to know information, which is partially true.
Yeah.
But the more sinister thing about it is that it is run by a foreign entity that is programming the algorithm to show us Americans shit that they don't show in other countries. So it dumbs us down. Like they're literally making us the people in Wall-E. Like they're making us the idiots who are just consuming shit. And it's so addictive. And I'm gonna sound old here. I don't have TikTok because when I had it, for two reasons. When I had it, one, they always flag my content. They always flag my jokes.
Really?
And you know my material is not raunchy, but my material is political. It is, from a woman's point of view, it is asking questions and calling out ridiculousness. So they don't like that shit. Right. So my stuff gets flagged because if I was in China with my material, I would not allow to have my material shown to the public. Yeah. Because of just their political ideologies, communism, whatever, And I'm not over here acting like I'm a Black Panther beating my chest, but like I ask questions, I ask questions. I talk about things. And so every time I would post a comedy clip, it would get flagged every single time.
Jeez.
So that annoyed me. And then the other thing, just even looking at it as like a consumer, like I remember one time I was in bed and I was like, oh, let me see what's on TikTok. And this one I had the app on my phone, and legit 4 hours later, I was like, where the fuck did the time go? Because it's legit addictive to our brains.
It doesn't even listen to what you tell it.
Yeah.
Like, you know how normally an app, you tell it, hey, I like this, I like that, I like this. It don't even really listen to that. It listens to what you do, not what you say.
Yeah.
You could say you this person, but it's like, no, Rob, you want every video of Michael Jackson from the 70s. The minute it's uploaded, it's going straight to you.
Yeah.
You're going to see that Jackson 5 performance. Like, I don't know. I don't know what your thing is, but whatever it is, figured it out. 4 hours.
I don't even know what my thing is, but what I'm saying is that we have to acknowledge that social media is not about social media.
Sure.
Social media is about data collection and influence. That's all it is. They just want your data. So now that we're moving into the conversation of AI, it's like all of those times that you hit update and you said, I agree to these terms. Now in those terms, they saying they have rights to your images, to your voice, to your likeness, because they can repurpose it for anything. Before it was like, oh, we want to put it in a commercial. You're like, oh, of course they want to put my clip in a commercial. That's great. But now when they're like, hey, we want to buy your voice and we have access, we use your voice from all your videos. Yeah. And we're just going to use your voice because we have the right to use your voice because everything that you upload is our property. And so when you realize just like what the deeper root of it is that they're using social media to train AI to learn human behavior so that they can pretty much create a workforce or anything that doesn't necessarily need the actual human being in it.
Who are these people? Here's the thing. Where are y'all going? What's the end goal?
The end goal is to have and I know I sound like a conspiracy theorist. I know I sound crazy, but it's the end goal is to have a small number of people with the absolute amount of power. That's always been the goal. That's the goal in any civilization, is always a small group of people with the ultimate amount of power who control the masses. And so if you are so, bogged down or hypnotized by TikTok and all you're doing is trying to figure out how you can become a social media influencer, how you can make money, how you're going to have a kid so you can have a little cute kid on your timeline and you can make money. Like, if that's what you're consumed with, it's like, who's building the cars? Who's cooking the food? Who's teaching the kids? Who's building the roads? Like, yeah. Everybody wants to be a social media influencer now. And they know that, so they keep feeding it. So when the GOP held this hearing about TikTok and they asked those questions, they asked a lot of dumb questions, but they asked them good questions. So it's like, it's one of those instances where like even a broken clock can be right twice a day, right? And
that's real.
So like the impetus for them having this hearing is self-serving because they don't want people on TikTok talking about how crazy the GOP party is and showing crying moms after their kid got shot in the school. Like, whatever their reason is for it doesn't mean that there's an actual real reason why we should actually monitor the amount of access these foreign entities and governments who are using social media. Like, we saw what Facebook did with our elections the past 2 election cycles.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's an American company.
You saw what happened when they finally got Mark Zuckerberg in front of the Senate.
Yeah.
Them people did not know what to ask him about.
I
They
know.
like, what you saying is good, and they could win a lot of people over if they really ask the right questions and do the homework and put everybody to task. But we've seen when people put them suits on and get in front of Congress, they be up there like, all right, what about downloading music? Huh? What about, can you talk to my district about the dangers of social media? Because, I have some kids in my town that want to know about the dangers of Facebook. What about, I forgot my password. How do I, they was in there reaching for straws, and it's like, yo, this is the Facebook dude. You got him in front of you right now.
I know, but you know what? But they, for the most part, were never going to grill him because what Facebook did benefited their party, benefited the GOP.
Sure.
And it creates this subculture of people who are like, it's so weird to me that like, we don't acknowledge that at our core, human beings want the same thing. They want to be able to take care of their family. They want to have a roof over their head. They want to have food in their bellies. They want to have education in their minds. They want to have the ability to do and spend their time and their money the way they choose to do those things. If that's the basic understanding of what human beings want, safety, protection, money, and food, then you realize that we are more alike than not alike.
Sure.
But it's easier to cause division within people when you can put up an article that says, lizard people are kidnapping kids and keeping them in the basement of pizzerias, and you got 10,000 likes on the shit, instead of Facebook being like, that is not fucking real.
Yeah.
Don't believe this shit. Now you got to add like the paranoia, and the reason why these people want to believe in these things, right, is because they just want the basic shit of shelter, food, money, and security, and they can't get it. So now they looking at the idea that there's this like whole big, underworld community of people who are doing crazy shit. It's like, nah, nigga, they just don't want to give you universal health care. Be mad about that. You mad about some like fake ghost that's coming in here and threatening your family when it's your elected officials that don't even want your kids to live. They would rather have a gunman coming in and shoot your kids than to prevent gun violence. And you over here talking about Mexicans coming into this country. Like, it's crazy the brainwashing that happens that allows people to really like live in fear. And that's what they want to profit off of, the fact that we are living in fear.
That's real. That's real. It's like we don't normally get this deep on the pod, but I'm here with you. It is weird that it's like kids dying, but also, it's like, hey man, these drag performers trying to read to the kids, and it's like, I don't know. Do you read to the kids?
No.
Is it that crowded to read to the kids where they, it's like, I don't know.
It's a distraction.
They're trying to get CRT. First of all, CRT is a college course.
College course. You got to opt into CRT.
Yeah.
But they're using it now, and everybody said they would. They use the banning of CRT to ban everything. Like, how you use CRT to ban the Diary of Anne Frank?
Come on.
Like, and I feel like everybody should read the Diary of Anne Frank.
Yeah.
Because she was I was her age when I read it in school, and I was like, God damn, this is intense. Like, I couldn't fathom a world where people were that cruel, and also where people were willing to sacrifice their lives to save other people. And I get the sacrifice your life part, okay, because as an African American, we hear about the Underground Railroad and what people did to help, slaves and, all of that stuff. But like the brutality that was experienced, and this young girl trying to figure out if she's going to live to see another day, like, we all need to acknowledge that these things happen in our past.
These things happen.
So that we don't repeat them. But when you act like they don't happen and they don't exist, and you give people the green light to repeat the shit.
Yeah.
Or to think that it doesn't happen. And it happens it's happening now. And somewhere in this world, somebody is hiding because they're being persecuted by an oppressive religious or government regime.
I mean, like, if I was a history teacher and you told me, all right, CRT is illegal, You cannot make theories based on race. You cannot make racial connections to things that happen. My syllabus is going to be thousands of pages. Because now we have to learn each event as an individual event. I'm sorry. I can't connect them. None of these things are connected, but we are going to learn as much of them as possible. So, hey, it's going to be a lot of racist things that are learned, but that's because I can't make any connections. I can't.
Yeah, you can't even infer, but you have to leave it up to them. And when the students raise their hand, it's like, is this because of racism? You're like, hey, I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, then the next day, this happened.
Yeah,
Chloe, what's your favorite color sky?
Favorite color sky? All right, I like when the sun is setting and it's kind of like an ombre. So like the top of the sky is like a little grayish blue, and then it gets to like a burnt orange as the sun is setting. Yeah.
All right. I asked everybody that on the podcast.
Cool.
Yeah. The sunset is really popular.
Really?
A lot of people,
You see a lot of good quality sunsets here in LA versus in New York. New York is obstructed by buildings and skyscrapers and
yeah. Here we have dirty air, but it looks nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Also, there's no trees. There's not a lot of trees in LA.
Not a lot of trees, and then the trees are skinny. Yeah. So you get to see a lot of the sky, but you still have a lot of light pollution, so no stars.
At nighttime, okay, so have you ever seen like what you may believe to be like an unidentified flying object when you look up in the sky at night?
Sure, but I grew up near an airport, so I always think it's a plane.
But, I thought that too. But, where I lived, I have a sun deck on my building. And me and my neighbors have been like, yo, I've been up here and I definitely seen some shit darting in the sky. But like, yo, you too? Like, yeah, I seen it. So I don't know if it's like, an actual alien entity or if it's like, somebody's flying in the sky. But I've definitely been like, I think I need a telescope. I would love for aliens to contact. I feel like aliens owe it to black people to contact us first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if aliens contact us first, what happens? Like, how does it get out there?
I think they need to ask us what's up. Like, you ever come to like a person's event and you don't really know the people like that, but like somebody in there, or somebody's gonna tell you the truth. And you find them first, be like, all right, so give me a rundown. What am I in for? Like, let me know what I need to be thinking about, who I need to be talking to, like who's running this shit or whatever, like who's really running it, who say they run, like like they need to come to us for like the cliff notes first.
Okay, so then who is us? Who who would you deem as the person that the aliens should holler at first, that they could really get the rundown?
I would say, okay, if they really wanted the rundown, I would say for comical reasons, I think they should go on Drink Champs.
Drink Champs?
Yeah.
They get the info from Nori?
Yeah.
And
they sit down.
Holy guacamole. Okay, we got the alien in here. All right. So outer space. Like what's that like?
Yeah. Answer them questions.
Holy guacamole. Make some noise for the alien coming to the Drink Champs.
Get a couple cups of Hennessy. What's your name? Wim Wam? Come on, Wim Wam. Drink some Hennessy.
Drink some of this Tiger Ball.
No, I think they need to tell. I'm saying this in jest, but I do feel like if aliens were to contact us, they should probably have like a side conversation with black people. Like, listen, I know a lot of this shit ain't your fault, so
yeah,
let's cut a deal. And
Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu not even gonna be phased. First of all, the alien come to Erykah Badu. Erykah Badu's gonna be like, I knew this day would come.
Yeah.
What do y'all want to know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Erykah Badu is definitely a good person.
Yeah,
but I think they need to come and tell us first. You ever see that it was a movie? I think who was in it? I think it was the man who played Benson, Robert Gouliam.
Okay.
But it was a movie a while ago, and aliens came to America and they were like, give us all your black people. And he worked for like a political office, and he was like, "There's no way, we're not going to give up all the black people." And all the white people was like, "Yeah, we're giving up the black people." And so at the end of it was like all the black people like going on a spaceship and like being sent away.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. But also, can you imagine what this world would look like how this world would operate if there were no people of color on it? Like anybody that's darker than.
I think it would be like a day of people being chipper, right? They get like one day of being like, well, hey, this was pretty nice, And then after that, they realize like everything's just crumbling.
Yeah, I think it would be like Mad Max and the Thunderdome. There was no real black or brown people there. It was just a bunch of white folks in the desert fighting, killing each other, gouging each other's eyes out, trying to find water.
And Tina Turner used to being the only black person in the room.
Oh, absolutely.
And still,
let me tell you what Tina Turner said. After she got done with she said, I can't be in a room with more than two niggas, me included, okay?
Maybe Oprah and Gayle, that's it. That is it. And that's on special occasions.
Cameras better be rolling. Keep them niggas away from me. That's what she said. I'm done.
We don't need another hero.
We don't need another nigga. That's what she said.
Shout out to Tina Turner if you're listening out there.
Living her best life over there in Europe with her man. She chilling.
80-something. Have you seen the play?
No, I haven't seen it.
Me neither.
Because I also want to know, like, I saw the movie. Like, I don't know. I mean, how do you make domestic violence a musical?
Well, like, I think it's really sad what happened. Because they told Tina Turner, if you write the book, then you'll get past it. So she writes I, Tina with Kurt Loder from MTV. And then they turn I, Tina into What's Love Got to Do with It. And then black people took this traumatic movie and turned it into like a favorite. Just a movie that like we act.
When Jay-Z said "Eat the Cake" anime on Beyonce song.
Yeah, and it's not even like song cry. It's not even like he's like trying to make us sad. It's like, oh, we're drunk and partying. We're drunk in love.
Yeah, and he's like, "Eat the Cake" anime. And it's like, I could like, if I was her, I'd be done with niggas too. I would be done with niggas too. But I think that the larger issue is like we don't take anything seriously. We just don't. We don't take domestic violence seriously. We don't take murder seriously. Like we just like, I mean, especially as comedians. But like now, I think because of social media, everybody is finding their comedic voice. I mean, we're
seeing that there's a lot of funny people out here that aren't being funny professionally. Yeah. There's a lot of like, the next tweet is, I have nothing to promote, but like, I'm glad this blew up. This was cool.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with this every day, but yeah. Cause like, we don't take anything seriously. But that's why I think if the aliens, like, if we found out that the aliens got to, Nori or Erykah Badu or whatever, then immediately we hit them with the jokes.
Of course.
Like if the apocalypse happens and we still have a little bit of social media, the memes are flying.
Okay, so I feel like there's certain types of people. So the apocalypse is happening. What are you doing?
Like, okay, is it like, am I seeing like stuff like the earth,
Yeah, so you see, like you open up your curtain and you see the horsemen trotting around the horizon. You just see them. You see fire and brimstone. What you doing?
I might open my phone. I'm not recording it. I'm not the person that's like, what is like? I'm trying to get my last viral on in the apocalypse. But I do want to get like confirmation other people are seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah. But I'm not like, let me go live.
I think for me, I would just turn it wherever I'm at into a party. I would want to go out on a high note. Yeah.
But everybody's not going to be in the party mood. Some people going to be praying.
Listen, I'll be like...
Some people going to get that last prayer in at the buzzer.
I'm gonna be like, Jesus, I fucks with you. Where the party at? No. I would try to go out on a high. I would try to go out on a high though. I wouldn't be sad or anything, but I would try to go out on a high. Now, same question, different scenario. Same question. You open up your curtains and you see it's straight up Civil War popping out here.
Okay.
What you doing?
I'm seeing if I could like brace myself. Like I'm not going out into the Civil War. I'm getting ready for somebody to bust in.
Oh. For like your supplies and shit.
Yeah,
like Last of Us?
Yeah. Well, like I'm like trying to figure out how to board the windows up. Put some stuff in front of the door.
Yeah.
Make it tough on somebody to get in.
That's true.
Yeah.
You have weapons?
No.
Oh, well, no, you might as well leave your door open, fam.
Hey, I don't see a scenario where I have a weapon and it changes things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
If anything, it's like, oh, well, now this person's in survival mode. They might have just came to rob me, but now that I pulled a gun out, now they pull their gun out. Yeah. Now it's a gun off.
Well, that's the thing about living in LA that's different than New York. It's like, I know we talk about gun violence and crime in New York, but it's nothing like knowing that you're in a space where any and everybody around you has a weapon, has a gun.
Well, New York, the guns are back.
No, the guns are back, but
the guns are back.
But the guns
the crack is back, the guns are back.
No,
that's what I always say.
First of all, the guns never left. But
if the crack is back, the guns are back.
But the guns are in concentrated areas that you can avoid if you so choose to.
From what I hear, they in Times Square.
Well, I haven't been in New York like that in a while.
From what I hear, it goes down in Times Square now.
Exactly, but
when I lived in New York, Times Square was Disneyland.
What I'm saying, that's like Melrose here. Like, people be getting stuck up on Melrose all the time. Robbed and shot all the time on Melrose, which is weird because when you hear Melrose, you think like Melrose Place and like this great Hollywood. No, it's Melrose is like West 4th Street.
Okay.
Like but the elements that come there to prey on the people who are like just want to buy an expensive shirt or whatever. Like so, but then you just know, okay, I'm going to avoid West 4th Street, Melrose, or Times Square. But here, I mean, I saw people arguing in the Pavilion's parking lot over a spot.
Oh yeah,
and they gonna pull out, and it's like, I didn't expect this.
Like people are always like, oh yeah, if you go south, then you'll have issues, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nah, somebody will pull up on you at the Grove for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. It's too many ways out.
Yeah.
There's too many ways out. If something was going to happen to you, the Grove would be a crazy place.
Also, also in LA, the crime comes to you. Like they were like, yo, I just saw a nigga buying a lot of shit. Come roll up. And they be like, skirt, they be there.
Yeah.
In New York, everybody ain't got a car like that. You got to get on a train and wait for the express to come and drop you off where people's buying expensive shit at.
Facts.
I can't.
I had to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a pacifist, but it's scary.
You are a pacifist for real?
Yeah.
Why?
Do we need war? Do we need violence?
This is the thing. I tell a joke about this. Violence is the answer.
What?
If someone...
That's not what Marvin Gaye said.
And Marvin Gaye got killed by his daddy.
Exactly.
Popped in the head in his own damn house. So violence is the answer when violence is the question.
Okay.
So if someone is being violent with you, you gotta be violent back. Because nobody respects pacifists.
But okay, is self-preservation violence? Like if you swing at me and I duck, but I don't swing back, is it in, you know what I'm saying? If I figure out how to get out of there, that's not violence.
The thing is, you gotta understand that we as human beings are bloodthirsty. It's now a part of our daily conversation. People go on social media to see people bust their fucking face open. They have an accident and they upload a video of them taking an L. So we have been programmed to like think of these things as like America's Funniest Home Videos, right? So our we've been desensitized to violence, which is fucked up. But also in that desensitization, sorry, my Invisalign, is that now people are bloodthirsty. They crave that thing, right? And so you think that a person who's craving blood is going to be okay because they didn't connect on a punch, and they're going to walk away and be like, I didn't connect on my punch. Let me rethink some things. No, they're going to be like, oh, next time I'm going to shoot them. Next time I'm going to knife them. Next time I'm going to like blow up their house. It's like we're dealing with people who are fucking nuts in the world. And so to think that you just being like, I'm praying to God and I'm going to turn the other cheek is going to stop those types of people from being who they are, you are out of your mind.
But that doesn't mean I got to be nuts.
It's not about being nuts. It's
you know what I'm saying? Like just because, okay, you know, if I assume they gonna stab, they gonna shoot, give them a hug.
Rob, I
give
hope
them
that
a
works
hug,
for you.
yo. Hey, if somebody steps to you, they put their fist up. You open those fists and give them a hug.
Famous last words. Put that on his tombstone. Now, okay. My thing is, I don't want people to think that I'm not a violent person. However,
you sound like you
no,
a UFC Chloe right now.
No, but if you step to me,
if
you step to me, if you threaten my life or the life of my family or my friends and people that I love, and you think that you ain't gonna get dealt with, you are crazy.
What is dealt with?
Whatever it is, whatever it is. And I don't mean like disrespecting, like saying words or some shit, but like if you run up on me, you know what I'm saying? I gotta defend myself. And I think that also more women need to learn how to defend themselves. Like
that's real.
I took self-defense classes. So when I say meet violence with violence, I'm not saying like you walking down the street and somebody, you know, disrespects you and you like shank them. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you're in a position where your life is on the line, you gotta defend yourself.
Sure.
You have to defend yourself.
And that might be my privilege as a man saying I'm a pacifist. Because I've seen a lot of people online. I saw this one girl tell the story about how this guy asked her for a number. She said no. He punched her in the face. And then the thread were all these other women saying that the same thing happened to them. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. And then not only that, it's like, I know I will never have to go through that. You know, like on the one or two occasions where someone's asked for my number and I've said...
Not the one or two occasions.
And I've said no, like, you know, I don't have to worry about, all right, they're going to beat me down, you know?
Yeah.
That's sad.
No, I mean, I remember being like a teenager walking down the street and the guy was trying to holler at me and I'm like, no, thank you. And as I walked past him, he just like... chucked like a empty Snapple bottle at me, you know, like
dang,
like it
Snapple's
hit,
like,
glass,
yeah,
and it just like hit like maybe like a foot in front of me, you know. But it's like that's the shit that we got to deal with as women, you know what I mean? So I absolutely think that women should be taking self-defense classes at bare minimum. And I have a joke about, you know, I read this article. This woman said, like, my boss, this is the Me Too movement. She was like, my boss put his dick in my mouth, and I'm like, you should bite that dick off, like. Duh, bite that dick. Why would you not bite the dick off?
People say that like it's just easy. How do you know that that's easy?
Because
how do you know that that's...
let me tell you one thing.
If it's ready to present, it might not be that easy to just bite off.
Let me tell you something that I know. No dick is tougher than these fucking teeth, okay?
Sure, but off is another level. Off is like unhinged.
But
like
listen,
off is
wait,
like,
so you
know what I'm saying?
Rob,
Humans are you know,
wait a minute.
We don't have the carnivore tools. You know what I'm saying? We got to heat up our food.
I didn't say fillet it and flambe it. I said bite it off to save your life. If it's between me being sexually assaulted and raped and you getting your dick sucked, guess who ain't getting their dick sucked?
I'm with you. I'm not pro assault, right? I'm not. I'm just saying that the concept of bite off, like bite it, I get that. That's going to get you out of the situation. Bite off?
Bite it, I don't know as hard as you need to bite it to get up out that situation.
There we go. If
you don't got to cut it clean off, then don't cut. If you got to leave some teeth marks in like a toddler, then do it.
Okay. All right. But that's traceable. Maybe it's a less traceable crime. Clean off, then you don't have to of DNA matching. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got who assaulted you? The nigga whose tip of dick it is right here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's wild to go to the police with teeth marks and be like, hey, you know, I crossed the line, but you know, we both crossed some lines. Yeah, that's whack.
Nah, you gotta maim them. Sure, you gotta do something.
Sure,
like it's never gonna be me. That's what I'm saying. And if it is, I'm going down, dragging everybody. I'm taking everything down with me.
I got you. Okay.
But I also understand that I have privilege, right? Because I'm a big person.
Okay.
You know, I'm 6'1", and I've been since I was 12. So my worldview is definitely programmed by my experience as a taller woman.
Got you.
So I know that there's things that I can do. But I also know that if I'm being sexually assaulted by a man, he ain't going to be light with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to really have to fight. Like, it's going to be like, yeah, a dick will get pulled off.
All right. Didn't know we would get there, folks. You know,
listen, I'm multifaceted.
We've gotten through a lot of different topics. Chloe, if you could have been any animal other than a human being, what would you be?
I would be an owl.
An owl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Owl or elephant. Owls see everything. They're nocturnal. They know how to hide. They know how to prey. They mind their business. And elephants, because they have great memories and amazing family bonds and community.
Well, I wonder how things are from an elephant's vantage point. Like, they have memories, but like, what are they witnessing?
They see everything.
They see everything.
You never heard, you didn't see that? I don't know if it was true or not, but I mean, it could be true because elephants are like that. But there was an article about this woman who like used to taunt elephants, and then when she died, like an elephant came and like stomped on her grave.
You ain't got to lie and say it was an article.
No.
We all saw the video.
Oh, was it a video?
You ain't got to flex and be like, well, I read about it.
Oh, nah,
Chloe. No, we saw it. We saw it. No, the elephant came through the funeral.
I didn't know there was a video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like example, like elephants don't fuck around.
But I don't know if I would want to see I would want to remember so much. I don't know. I remember a lot, and I feel like, you know, you remember good things, but you also remember bad things. You also remember, you know, disappointments and different stuff. And I don't know if I'm an elephant and just.
But those things, they remember those things because those things guide their survival, right? So, like, they remember the past. They remember, okay, when we went this way, there was poachers that killed my baby, so we don't want to go this way. Remember this way, there's water this way, you know. So they're remembering things based on, like, how they need to travel for their survival.
Got you.
You know, they're not just sitting back, flipping through the Elephant Times, being like, 97 was a crazy year.
Have you ever seen an owl skeleton?
Oh, it's like tiny, right?
Yeah,
It's all feathers.
It's like feather pants. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then they're bigger than you think too.
Yeah.
Like they got a huge wingspan. Chloe, anything you want the people to find? Want the people to find you?
Sure. You could check out the new season 4 of A Black Lady Sketch Show. You can watch it on HBO Live on Fridays at 11 p.m.
Real HBO.
You can watch it on HBO Max, streaming, wherever streaming thing you have. Also, you can read my book if you want to know more about me. Pick up my book.
You got a book.
Yeah.
A whole author.
Yeah, I wrote a book.
Yeah.
Called Fuck Your Diet. So check that out. And if you enjoy the conversation, the book is reflective of that, right? So I mix a lot of like my personal experiences with like facts and figures and like, you know, things that happen throughout history that influence how we relate to food and the food industry and diet and exercise and self-esteem. So if you're into those things, you should check it out. And it's also really funny and engaging. So it's not like a TED Talk. It's chill. And if you like to listen to audiobooks, I recorded the audio. So if you want to hear this.
You did the audio?
Yeah, if you want to hear this New York accent. Then
That's what's up. That's what's up. I like listening to audiobooks. I feel like the person is, really telling their story.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It took a couple days, but it was fun. So yeah, so pick up Fuck Your Diet. I'm also releasing a clothing line entitled Fuck Your Diet as well.
Okay.
So there'll be some like hoodies and joggers and all that stuff. So athleisure wear for the people who like to just be comfortable. That's my zhuzh.
It should just be leisure.
Athleisure. We got to fake like you about to do a little something. You know what I'm saying? Because
put a little ass in there.
So you wearing athleisure wear, right? So so this jumper, this suit, if it was just a regular champion shoot, it's giving off a completely different energy.
That's true.
But also old school champion, not like the new hip champion. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the athleisure, it makes it elevated.
Got you. Yeah, it's offensive if I just come with the old school.
If you came with the elastic ankles.
Yeah.
Nah. It's crazy. And lastly, you can follow me on Instagram because I'm not on TikTok and Twitter's a wrap. So Chloe_Hilliard, and I'll be posting some more comedy clips of me, which I realize that's all people want to see on Instagram anyway.
That's what Instagram wants you to think. I feel like if you post a fun thread, if you figure out a unique way to use the carousel, different stuff, Instagram will reward you. But they want you to think the only way through is videos.
Yeah, because they're trying to compete with TikTok.
But once TikTok gets out of here, they already said we're not paying y'all for videos no more.
Who?
Instagram.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were like, no more bonuses. I was like,
so what's the point? So how do you make money? I guess it's just like partnerships and like.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that sounds like a full-time job. I ain't got time to do all of that. That's why my social media has definitely taken a hit. Like, with working the job and all that stuff, I just don't have the time. And then whenever I do have time to pop up on social media, it's like a completely different landscape. Like it feels so different. Like when you pop out, like I feel like I was in prison and I came back. I'm like, yo, it's different out here. Y'all out here just on this shit all the time. Like it feels really strange. But I applaud people who are able to make a livelihood on social media, especially a lot of Black and brown people who are pulling in six figures that they wouldn't be able to do. So, we also got to keep in mind like the incentive to get rid of social media that will also impact people's livelihood. So like, I hope there's a good middle ground.
I hope we get our own thing, and then we don't have to follow the rules. If I put up a podcast clip, somebody say the N-word, the sound gets taken down.
That is true.
I ain't even say it. They black. They said it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all kind of different rules. I was watching the Versus, Too Short and E40. Too Short just did Shake That Monkey. E40 did You and That Monkey. I put up a monkey emoji. They flagged me for racism. It's two monkey songs back to back. Why else would I have a monkey emoji except for this moment? And now I'm flagged.
Exactly.
They're like, this is inappropriate.
Too much.
I'm black too.
No, they don't know that. They just saw that monkey. That AI was like, whoop, no.
A monkey on Versus? Not today. This has been the Inconsistent Podcast with Rob Haze. Make sure y'all subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you follow the Patreon. It's a little lagging these days. I've been super busy, but in a couple weeks it will get back popping.
I feel like you named your shit Inconsistent, so they know what they signed up for.
Exactly. It is the brand. It is on brand. The podcast is going to be super on brand in April and May. And then, we'll go back to being off-brand after that. Maybe not. Maybe it'll just continue to be busier and busier, and y'all don't hear from me, but, y'all will see me doing stuff in the future. Who knows?